Hello, can you hear me, ma? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, let me know if you
Yeah,
can
I
hear
can
me.
hear you.
Okay, I'm so
Yes,
sorry
I
for
can
the
hear you.
wait. I'm so sorry for the delay.
Sorry.
I'm actually having some network issue. So just oh wow. Hello, good evening, everybody. Please let me know if you can hear me, so we can kick off immediately. Wow. Oh, Miss Mercy, can you hear me from your end?
Yes, I can hear you now. Very well.
Okay. Okay, that's great. So good evening, everybody. I'm surprised that the welcome you. We're going to be having a session on adaptive learning, personalizing instruction to meet every student needs. And uh, I'm so sorry about the delay. I'm not even yet to. So what will happen now is, so can you please go ahead because I'm here to. Okay, I'm glad someone can hear me here. Okay, I'm here to drop your slide here because I just saw it now. I'm so sorry. I have to quickly attend to something. So sorry. So please, can you go ahead with the session while I try to bring up your slide?
All right, go on. But I would need the slide on so I can go on.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, if possible, you can go on with the introduction and other things before the slides come up. But
All right, no
I'm working on it
problem.
as
All right. Okay, thank you so much.
all right.
So thanks once again
All right.
for the opportunity to come on board to have this training with amazing and wonderful teachers. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate. Thank you so much. So good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, good evening, wonderful teachers. Good evening, great teachers. My name is Mercy John, and I'm an LES practitioner. I'm a creative director, and also a teacher trainer. So I train teachers on how to be creative and intentional in the classroom using the right resources, which links to the act of improvisation and how to create resources, that's recycling of resources that you can use basic materials around you to do. All right. So thank you once again. So aside teaching, I'm a cook and I'm an event planner, and I'm also into tech. So aside working with preschoolers, aside doing teachers trainings, I'm also a cook and I do event planning and decorations. So thank you so much. And I'm popularly known as Ultra Creative. So all my social media handles, to LinkedIn, to Instagram, to Facebook, TikTok, I'm known as Ultra Creatives. So thank you so much. So today we'll be looking at personalized learning. That's what I call it. It's the same thing as instruction, personalized learning. So before the slide will come on board, I know everyone can hear me. Before the slide comes up board. So when they talk about personalized learning, what comes to your mind? Because I would like this to be an interactive section. If you can just type in the chat box, so I'll be seeing our responses there. When they talk about personalized learning, good evening, Esther. What comes to your mind as an educator when you hear the word personalized learning? Somebody's coming to you for the first time and the person is telling you, oh, I would like you to use personalized learning when working with the children, or probably during an interview you are being told to use personalized learning. And I'm very sure not everybody is familiar with this word. So when you're being told to use personalized learning to teach, what comes to your mind? I would like to hear from us in the chat box. I'll just read. I don't know if you can hear me. Just type it in. When you hear the word personalized learning, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind? Personalized learning or personalized instruction. What comes to your mind as a teacher? Good evening, Miss Kemi. Oh, you're also my namesake. Good evening, Miss Mercy. So I'm waiting in the chat box. I just need somebody's response. So I'll go on before the slides come on. I'm waiting. All right, so let me just go on. So when we talk about personalized learning or personalized instruction, so it's practically the methodology that is being used to teach individuals in a classroom according to their pace. So I know some of us will say, oh, teach individual according to their pace. Do I have to start teaching them one? Probably Bode, I'll teach Bode separately, teach Messi separately, teach Ada separately, teach Anu separately because I want to do personalized learning. No. You know, in the classroom, we have different types of learners. We have the high flyers, the middle flyers, and the lower flyers. Now, these are groups of children that are categorized in this segment to make learning easy in a personalized form. So you want to teach these certain groups that are the high flyers, instead of just teaching them individually, you categorize them in the high flyers. The middle learners, you categorize them in the middle learners. The lower learners, you categorize them in their own ability. Now, this makes learning easy and swift for teachers. You know that when you are preparing your lesson plan, you're not just preparing one way, you are preparing to meet these three groups. Thank you so much for your response. Now you are preparing towards meet the needs of these three groups that you have in your classroom. When you are preparing activities, you have it at the back of your mind that yes, you have certain children in the classroom that are of different abilities that you need to meet. So that is where we talk about personalized instruction, personalized learning. All right, thank you so much. You can leave it to that. Please, can you take it back, please? Thank you so much. So now I'm very sure we can all see my slide. So this is what we are talking about: adaptive learning, and under it we are talking about personalizing instruction to meet every student's needs. It's a classroom. It's a place that should be able to contain everyone. It's a place where every child needs to feel safe and understood. It's a place where every child needs to come to every day and know that yes, my teacher got my back. I don't have to worry if I'm stressing out. I don't have to worry if I don't know it, because my teacher would actually meet me at the point of my need when it comes to my learning, my social skills, because learning goes beyond academic performance these days. So it also involves the social and the independent ability of every child from preschool to college. Thank you so much. So you can go on to the next slide. Thank you. So first of all, I'd like us to look at this before we go into the next one. So we're looking at what is adaptive learning. I just want to read through before we go into what I'm supposed to talk about. Now, adaptive learning is a technique, okay, that uses data, okay, driven instruction to adjust and tailor learning experience to meet the individual needs of each student. Adaptive learning system can track data such as student progress, engagement, and performance, and use the data to provide personalized learning experience. So we see where our personalized learning experience is coming from. So it comes from where adaptive learning. All right, thank you so much. You can go on to the next slide. Thank you, individual learning. Thank you so much. All right, so now we are looking at what is personalized learning, which is something we've talked about, and I can see everybody's response. I can see individual learning. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. You can go on to the next slide. I've explained this already. Thank you. And hope I'm not too fast. If you want me to take it down a bit, you let me know. All right, so we are talking about personalizing instructions to meet every student's needs. Now, personalized learning refers to instructions in which the pace of learning and the instructional approach are optimized for the needs of each learner. Now, can we see the pace and the instruction? They are what? Optimized to meet each child's learning. Now you can see that when you are teaching, to your tone, to your actions, to your materials, to your resources, to your vibrancy, they should all what work according to each child's ability. And when I talk about each child, remember I said I'm not saying teach Bola separate, teach Mercy separate, teach Ada, and you have 30. I know your mind, you'll be like, how do I have to teach these 30 students now separately? Categorize them in their learning abilities: the higher flyers, the middle learners, and the lower learners. And if you have a special child in your class, you know when to take that child separately. But that doesn't mean at the end of the day, you don't group them together to have an academic or social or extracurricular activities or work with them. Because after doing this personalized learning, they all need to come together to collaborate, to share experiences, to learn from another. So because you are separating the higher flyers does not mean you now put higher flyers all through the day, they need to stay on their own. No. At the end of every academic work, at the end of every individual learning, mix them up together to collaborate and also learn from one another. Thank you so much. So you can go on to the next slide. Thank you. Please, can I have the next slide? Thank you. So, what can you see here? We have, please, can you take it back, please? Thank you. Just one step back. So, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you please take the slide back? Thank you so much. All right. So, here we have group of children sitting and learning at the same time. But what can you see? How is learning taking place here? You can see somebody learning from the laptop. You can see somebody reading. You can see the other person working on a paperwork. Now, it might be that that teacher might be teaching, let me use an example, culture. Now, the other child learns using the visuals. The teacher has provided that for the child. Okay, you learn this way, learn like this. The other child can write. Oh, okay, you want to write, you want to share your own ideas in a piece of paper, go on. Now, this other child loves creativity, loves drawing and painting. And the teacher has known that this is how this child learns. And the teacher has provided that for the child. Now, does this now mean that they are not learning culture? Does this now mean that that teacher has not taught for that day? You are teaching culture, but you've already strategized different ways in which you would use to teach that culture. Now, let me use myself as an example. I want to teach my children culture in a classroom. I will come in dressed according to that culture or hold some cultural materials with me. Now, at the end of my class or in between my class, I would use rhymes, I would use grammar, I would play video, I will write on my little white marker board. Why? Because I am trying to meet the needs of the different learners in my classroom. So I don't want to be a selfish teacher who is focused on only those who can read and write. I should be able to dramatize. I should be able to play video so that these children would also understand and learn something. I have a child who doesn't really like writing, but when it comes to, oh, sit down here and let me tell you, culture is the total way of life of people. This child grabs it even much more better than those that are writing. Now, doesn't mean that learning has not taken place. I've taught a child that when it's time to learn, she walks about the classroom all through the day. But when you would ask questions, this child is the one who answers the questions correctly. So because I've understood the kind of learner that child is, I make sure when it's time to teach, I engage in jumping, dancing, singing rhymes to get her attention closer to where I am, and she will jump, sing, dance, and learn at the same time from others. This does not mean when it's time to write, this child will not write. They are watching, and another thing is engage them when they are doing these individual things. The child is moving about, the child is not settled, oh, the child is disturbing, is distracting. Turn that distraction into learning. Thank you. Can you take it to the next slide, please? I'm trying not to take our time because we spent time before starting. Thank you. Now, things to look at when it comes to personalized learning. Now we have learners' interests. You have these different types of learners in your classroom. The high flyers, what are their interests when it comes to teaching? The middle learners, what are their interests? Study your children. Talk to parents. Okay, when the school says, oh, I don't want you interacting with parents, create a form. Send it to parents. I would like to know what this child likes doing at home. That will help guide you on how to work with this child in the classroom. Know what your child loves doing. Is it singing? Is it creativity? Is it writing? Is it tech stuff? Just get to know your students one-on-one. This would help guide you on how to even prepare your lesson notes, because sometimes we prepare our lesson notes forgetting the children that we are using it to teach. Your students should be part of your lesson plan. What I do as a teacher and that has helped me is the fact that before I teach my next topic, I throw it open to my students in the classroom. For example, I want to talk about soil. I let them know as little as they are. Oh, we are going to be talking about soil next week. Have you seen soil before? No. Then I show them a sample and let them know, okay, can you, when you get home, tell mommy Miss Mercy said you need to bring this type of soil. And I also send it home as a weekend assignment. Now they get busy with that assignment. And I would ask them, what will you like us to do with this soil next week? They give me their option. That is what I would also include in my lesson plan. So when I share my slide of my lesson plan in the classroom, it doesn't look boring to them because they are seeing their ideas. Especially those of you that teach secondary or primary. Once you share your slide or you start writing, this person say, "Oh, probably you have somebody in the classroom," and Yusuf will say, "Oh wow, that is my point. My teacher wrote my points on the board." It makes them happy. They should be part of your lesson plan, and that starts from you knowing their what interest, your activeness. How active is that child in the classroom? What drives the child to learn? What motivates the child to learn? Your learner's mood. When it comes to personalized learning, these are things you look at. Your learner's mood. Maybe probably when you come to the class, that's where that secondary school boy starts yawning and wants to sleep. Probably that is when that child wants to distract other people from learning. What is the mood of your learners anytime you get into the classroom? Learning style. Like I explained earlier, that child you're working with, is it the child that when it's time to learn, the child is standing on the chair, or the child is sitting on the floor, or the child just wants to go outside? A friend of mine called me one time and said, "Oh, this person likes learning, and when the person wants to learn, he will always say he wants to take a walk." The child wants to take a walk when it's time to learn. Now, make that child a class captain. It's time for me to teach. Oh, can you stand up and join me on the board? Let that child walk to you. Please, can you get the chalk for me? Please, can you get this material for me? All right, so I'm going to be writing the dates and I need you to help me write the numbers. If the child is not as tall as the board, give that child a chair, let that child stand and number it. After numbering, tell the child, now sit close to my chair and let's do this together. Others are there learning. The child is also close to you learning. The child just wants to move from the chair to another spot. So instead of allowing the child distract other people, let the child come and work with you. Hobbies. Some of us as teachers don't know our students' hobbies. Even to the ones in secondary school, you neglect them because you feel they are bullies, they are too big, they are teenagers, they are sports, they are this, they are that. What are their hobbies? Sometimes we say we are not their parents, we are not their life journey and process. What are your students' hobbies? These will help guide you when you are teaching them individually. The child loves singing, the child loves dancing. There is a movie I would recommend to us as teachers to watch. It will help us also understand what personalized learning is about. It's about a teacher who taught in a college school and how she was able to handle these students according to their individual abilities. So these are some of the things we need to look at. What are your teaching styles, even as a teacher, and your strategies? It goes a long way. So please, can I have the next slide? Thank you. Now, this is just the learning style of students to give us an insight and a clear understanding of what each child's learning style might be. And this will also help guide us when we look at this child. We say, okay, this child is doing that. Oh, this is the visual learner. This child is like this. The child is a physical person. Verbal, we have solitary, we have social, we have logical, we have auditory. Now, these are different types of learning styles. Now you see the visual, they learn with graphs, they learn with flashcards, they learn with videos. So you see those ones that likes physical practical, hands-on movements and all. So these are what will even help shape your lesson plan. Thank you so much. Can I have the next slide? Thank you. So 9 ways to personalize instruction to what drive students' success. We are looking at the 9 ways to what personalize your learning to drive students' success. You want this child to improve. How do I do it? I want this child to be better. How do I do it? Now, these are 9 ways. Out of these 9 ways, it might be two that work for you, it might be one that work for you, it might be three that work for you, depending on the child you're working with. So, what to help you know that child you're working with is the learning style I shared previously. Now, that learning style will help guide you to this. Now, we have develop individual learning plans. Learn to like your lesson plan. Like I said, I did not say when it comes to maths, do maths here, do another maths, do another maths under your content. As a maths teacher in secondary school, don't assume everybody will learn with one example or methodology. Don't assume everybody would understand that one methodology you want to use to teach that mathematics topic. When you are giving your examples, learn to use different methodologies. Learn to create different examples. Learn to bring up resources that will aid learning and make learning fun. Let's not just be static about it. Don't just look at it and say, please, I'm a math teacher. Why do I have to? This method is the method they are using now. This method is the method that works. So this is the method I want to use for them. It doesn't work that way anymore. Let's not feel, and that's the way they taught me in secondary school now in my days, and it worked for me. That was then. The world is changing. We want to change the narrative, we want to change the educational system of today. Then it starts from us as teachers. It starts from us as individuals. Sometimes I look at the Nigerian curriculum, I look at the Nigerian scheme, and I just smile. I don't blame people who go to use the Western curriculum and scheme because the world is evolving. We need to move. We need to do what? We need to move. Take a shift, rebrand your teaching style, rebrand your teaching skills, and it starts from now and this. Now, second, use adaptive learning platforms. It's under adaptive learning platform we are talking about these different things today. Offer differentiated assignments. Stop giving children the same assignment thinking they are same. It might be, I'll share the movie name once we are done with the training. So it might be for example, culture. Let me still use the word culture. And you want to give assignments in culture. Some of you just go to your board and say, okay, today's assignment, what is culture? Name types of culture, the food they eat, the water they drink, and the place they sleep. Forgetting that you have different learners in your class. You are still talking about culture. You are not diverting away from there. You can give those that are the high flyers that one because they love writing, right? Then the other group that doesn't like writing, that's still coming up, tell them, draw two different types of culture. It draws their interest. Them drawing it does not mean they are failures. That's the way they can express their answer and understanding of what you've taught. The other ones, you can tell them, color the Yoruba culture in the picture below, because you show them in the classroom, they know what Yoruba attire is all about. They will go to that actual part and color it. That does not mean they are failures. You've given them assignments according to their ability. I know some teachers right now are saying, that one is like dragging them back now. What is there? Am I not supposed to drag them to meet the high flyers? That's not how it works. It's a gradual process. Work according to their pace. At their own time, trust me, they will get there. We see so many autistic children reading, writing, playing instruments, even far better than those that we say they are normal kids. Why? Because they use personalized learning for them. They work according to their ability and their pace. And when it's time for them to pick up, they pick up drastically. That's that is how it works for every other child. Encourage collaboration in groups. Like I said earlier, remember that I said when it comes to personalized learning, don't go and quote Miss Mercy and say she said we should be teaching them separately. At the end of the day, what did I say? Mix them up together. The high flyers, the middle learners, the lower learners, mix them up together and let them collaborate. Let them do presentations together so that they can learn from one another. And make sure in your classroom you don't encourage bully, you don't encourage people mocking each other. Now let's go to the next one. Create learning stations in your class. Even if it's secondary, get a chair and table separate from everybody. Do like three different spots in the class. Encourage them whenever you feel you want to read, whenever you feel you want to pour out your mind, whenever you feel you want to express yourself, go to this spot and learn. Offer students more choices. Be open. I go to my class, like I said, I teach 1 to 2 years. As little as they are, when I want to teach, I go with my resources and tell them, oh, today we are going to be learning how to make clay or make a clay pot. Okay, what do you feel we should do? Should we mold a cup? Should we mold a pot? Should we make a turtle? I give them options. Don't be a static teacher that will say, this is how I want it and that is how it should be. It doesn't work that way. Come off that traditional method. Come off that old school methodology of teaching. Please, the world is evolving and it starts from you. Scaffold learning. Be open-minded, be open for options, mix up your assessments. This is where we now call some students failures when they are not failures. You give just one static assessment using the higher flyers in your classroom, and you forget the middle learners and the lower learners. And at the end of the day, when you come, especially this third term, you now hear, that child cannot be promoted to nursery one, that child cannot go to SS3 now. I'm advising you, Yasikira, no, mother, no. Let Ada repeat SS2 because Ada did not know it. Meanwhile, you made Ada fail because your question was just only for the high flyers in your classroom. Did you think about Ada, that Ada doesn't really know how to read, but she answers questions verbally? Did you set verbal questions for her where you can help her? I know you say when she goes to write WAEC, we dey help her. When she wants to go and write GC, we dey help her. How did you help Ada when you knew about her struggles in learning? Did you push her aside, or did you try to transform her to be better the little way you can? Learn to mix up your assessments. Think about the lower learners in your classroom. Think about the high flyers in your classroom. Think about the middle learners in your classroom. Monitor progress regularly. And this is where I keep advising the teachers around me and also where I work, because I currently manage the school, to always do feedback. I request for feedback form and it helps. Oh, sorry, Mrs. A, how is BC doing today? Please, can I get a feedback from at the end of the week? It's important. I want to see the progress of Ada. I want to see where we can help. I want to see the resources we need to help. I want to see what we need to do to help this learner. So if I don't keep track of this child progress report, it will affect the child at the end of the term, because the resources that is needed to help improve this child in their skill, that child will lack it. The resources that is needed to help this child do better, that child would lack it. So progress report, I used to tell teachers, even if your school does not ask for progress report, for your own sake, do it for yourself. Get a book where you document your students' progress at the end of every week or every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. It will help you track their learning process. It will help you know what to do next as a teacher. It will help you plan your next resources the right way, and you'll not just be lost in between the line. Thank you so much. I can see all our comments. Thank you so much. And I'm super glad that we are enjoying the class. All right, so can I have the next slide? Thank you. All right. So ways teachers can do better to improve personalized learning. Face the teachers. Manage your tone. Sorry, that's your. Manage your tone. Learn to speak right. Learn to act right as a teacher. Stop being abusive. Stop indirectly putting a child down. They know when you are putting them down. They know the teacher that likes them. You see a child being more happy to see another teacher in the class of in another class, but when they see their own teacher, you see them, they'll go and hide or start feeling calm because of how the teacher approach them or talk to them. Manage your tone, understand your learners, review your teaching techniques. When we say learn tech, some people say I'm not a tech person. It is not about being a tech person. There are so many tech tools that so many teachers out here can't use. And we're in the 21st century and we are all making noise in social media that we are changing the learning style. Review your teaching techniques. Be a creative teacher. Mathematics teacher in secondary school will come out and tell me during creative training and say, oh, math does not have any activity or engagement. Oh, wow. Have you followed some teachers online to see how they make math interesting? If the way math is being taught now was how they taught me when I was in secondary school, trust me, I would be a math guru. Change your teaching techniques, review it from time to time. How did I teach this half term? What do I need to improve on? What skill do I need to learn? How do I need to be a vibrant teacher? Is a good entertainer. You are not just entertaining for entertaining sake, you are making learning fun. Be tech oriented. Work on your creativity and innovation. Be innovative. Think outside the box. Be resourceful. Learn to pick plastic, crown covers, carton. You eat indomie, you trash the carton. But when you have project in the classroom, you go and disturb the school. Under your requisition, you write carton, newspapers, and these are things around you that you can get value added service. At the end of the day, you complain that they did not give you appraisal. Meanwhile, you get upset with those that are giving appraisal that are going up and down to pick plastics to make learning fun. Or some of us go the length of saying, "Ah, that person, let me use Yoruba, alasejuni. That person is she's just overdoing. She just want them to notice her." Meanwhile, deep down, or he or she is just trying to make their work easy with these resources they are going about carrying. Have the skill of improvisation. You want to teach something, the school did not provide it. You want to teach something, you don't have enough resources. Go online, search on Google. What can you use to teach fraction using materials at home? They will give you 1001 samples that would help you teach better. All right, thank you. Can I have the next slide, please? All right, thank you. So these are just 10 strategies to get growth from your students. So I'm sure we can see. I don't want to take our time. Okay. Class like a ladder. Okay, reaching your lowest students, part of what you said, setting short-term goals, stop familiarizing failure. Stop familiar. Don't make failure a key thing that you always want to do. You want to always fail a child and tame them failures. Celebrate success. Thank you so, so much. So the title of that movie is Freedom Writers. Freedom Writers. Please, after this, it's on YouTube. Go to YouTube. Let me type it. So it's a movie I always recommend for teachers. It's very interesting. Is a teacher who taught college, how she worked with them. She worked with so many different learners in her classroom. For those teaching secondary school, I know it's not really easy to work with college students. I know it's not easy to work with primary school students. But trust me, when you watch this movie, you are going to be learning a lot from it. So the title is Freedom Writer. So thank you so much, and I hope we've learned something from today's class. Thank you. Can I have a comment in the comment
Wow,
section?
wow, this is so amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this. The class was really very interesting, and I can see that you have seen a lot of things that we need to really work on in our educational practices. Yeah, because one thing I always say when I deal with, and the reason why I actually love this topic is that it relates a lot with what I do basically, the flip classroom that I work on. Is that I always tell people, I always tell teachers that the student we teach are as unique as their fingerprints. They are not the same. They are very, very different. And one of the things and a word I think we need to start using more in the education, uh, in our teaching is equity, giving people or serving people based on their need, not just we just teach everybody the same way, but being able to teach them even as a group, but then we try to meet their own individual needs. I think that's very, very important. So please, if you don't take anything away from this, make sure you take that away. Always look for ways to, and you cannot meet a need you don't know. And I think that's she has explained that a lot. And if you join late, make sure you go and watch the replay. I'm going to reiterate that you cannot meet a need you don't know. So it all starts with knowing your student. So if you don't know your student, you cannot meet their need. So thank you so much, Miss John. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I appreciate. I know that it takes a lot for you to be here, and you even have another session by 6 o'clock now, and you still have to show up here. Thank you so much for making the sacrifice. Thank you so much for being part of this. I don't take it for granted. Thank you so much. Please let's appreciate our speaker. Let's appreciate her. She has it takes her a lot for her to be here today. Let's appreciate her, please. Yes, I can see your comments. So interesting and inspiring. I can see Ms. Atemi we're clapping. Let's have more people. Please send the appreciation in. Let's appreciate our speaker. Thank you so much, Ma. I really, really appreciate this. I don't take this for granted. Thank you for sharing from your words of knowledge. Thank you for empowering the teachers. I'm very sure this alone is
Thank you
enough
so much
to.
also for the opportunity.
You're welcome, ma. You're welcome, ma. Thank you so much. Now, and so we're going to call it a wrap now. The session go continue tomorrow by 9 o'clock. So make sure you are part of it. This is the third day of the boot camp, and we're going to be going into the fourth day tomorrow. It has been empowering and amazing so far, and trust me, we still have loads of value for you. So make sure that you don't miss it. Thank you so much, and I'm just going to call this off now. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, and I'm going to say so. If you have any question, you can also drop it in the group so that I can send it to her. And please, I want you to please drop. You can. Our speaker is still here. She's not. You can still drop. In fact, I'm not seeing anybody. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and make this video private so that people will not have access to it because we are not appreciating our speaker. Why? It takes a lot now. It takes a lot. Let's appreciate our speaker. I can say at least 10 people here. Let's appreciate our speaker. In fact, if you don't appreciate it, you not see it on YouTube, you not see the replay, you not see it anywhere. I'll just go and keep it. So thank you again, Miss Mercy John. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Yes, it takes a lot for you to be here to give out of your time. Thank you. Okay, I can see someone saying thank you, man. Now, please, I need more. Thank you. I need more. Thank you. Okay, everyone, I'm going to end the session now so that we can all attend to whatever we need to attend to. So please don't forget, we meet again here tomorrow by 9 o'clock. The link is going to be sent to the WhatsApp group. Please don't miss it for anything. And I'm going to see you all at the top. Okay, and please don't forget, your learners are unique. The way you're unique, they're unique. Make sure you meet their needs. Make sure you. Wow, Mr. Victor in the building. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Victor. Thank you for your presence. Thank you so much. All right, so thank you so much. I'm just going to cut this off now. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.